Hi, we're looking at the daily Forex report for April 26th. We are looking at the U.S. Swiss. I actually want to change that. Let's take a look at the U.S. Japanese yen pair first. This pair did break the previous Friday's high, but did close lower today. We are looking for this pair to continue moving sideways with a bias sideways. Look for it to potentially go up and hit some resistance around 94.50, possibly moving down and hitting support around 93.60. Now, the Euro USD pair, this pair closed higher, did form an inside bar, has already broken out of that, and it did fill its gap, by the way. It did close a little bit lower, filled the gap during this last session. We are looking for this pair to continue moving sideways overall with a bias that is sideways as well. Look for it to potentially go as high as 134.51, possibly as low as 132.14. Look for some resistance around 134.25, and look for some support around 133.50. Now, the pound US dollar pair, this particular pair closed higher, did form a swing trade setup, so look for the breakout. We are looking for this pair to continue overall moving sideways with a bias sideways. It does currently have a slight move to the upside, though. Look for it to potentially go as high as 155.70, possibly as low as 152.83. Look for some resistance around 155.00 and look for some support around 153.40. Okay, now the U.S. Swiss. This particular pair did move lower today, broke previous Friday's close, did fill the gap. We are looking for this pair to continue moving sideways, biased sideways as well. Look for it to potentially, though, go as high as 108.47, possibly as low as 106.69. Look for some resistance around 107.75 and look for some support around 106.95. Okay, now as far as news analysis goes, we do have the U.S. releasing their consumer price index for April at 10 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow. Consensus is things have moved a little higher from 52.5 to 53.5. We also have the Euro releasing the German CPI, no time given on that for April. And for year to date, no consensus. The previous for April was 1.1%. Now, we do have the Australian Consumer Price Index being released for the first quarter at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. That's going to be the consensus on that is that things have improved from a 2.1% to 2.8%. Consumer Price Index is a news announcement that kind of reflects what inflation is doing. So a rise in numbers actually wouldn't be necessarily a good thing. However, it is within the realm of reason. 2.8 is not that large. So if it comes out at that price, it's not going to be that big of a deal. Now, as far as what I'm looking at during this next session, let's take a look at the Australian US dollar pair. Back out a little bit. You can see we have a strong trend line. If you go back in time even further, you could draw some like-minded or very similar trend lines to the upside. We have a strong trend line to the downside. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 points that line up pretty strong that way. We also have an area of support, and we also have an area of resistance, resistance being here, support being here. Now, what we're going to look for is a break of the support and tagging down to the support of the trend line, and then a break to the upside of the trend line and moving up to resistance. So that's kind of the play. Let me zoom in and I'll go through that one more time. We're basically looking for a breakdown of support, breaking down to a very strong trend line where support should hold, and breaking to the upside. If we get a break above this area of resistance, we should move up to the next area of resistance right here. So these are the two plays regardless of the direction of the Australian US dollar, regardless of where it moves. We could be able to pull a decent number of pips out of the market. Remember, we are during this next session, they'll be releasing the CPI, so we could get a good move there. 34 on that one. And on this one to the downside, we got about the same, 34, 33 pips. So either direction, we should get about 30 pips out of this move. Well, that pretty much wraps us up for today. Until next time, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.